So, anyways, welcome. We started 10 years ago last June, so we're just past the 10-year point. Crazy. We started in 2009 on Lake Street. There are a few of you here who were here then. Raise your hand. Those, I think we got these two here. Yes. Oh, you guys snuck in. Hi. And yeah, Dawn, you were here. So Lake Street was this little brown building. There is lawyers in there now, if you want to go drive by. There was a doctor on the main floor. There was myself on the bottom floor in my 300 square feet. And on the top floor was a massage therapist, which I never got to get a massage. What was up with that? So my rent was $300 a month. That was my total cost of doing business. And now today that is like, I'll tell you how many minutes that is. So it's kind of crazy to see that turnaround. My first month I made $300. Praise God, I paid my rent. The next month I think I made about $400, which allowed me to pay my rent and start paying off the enormous debt I put on my credit card to open my business. And I quickly began to realize how hard it is to get new clients because they have no idea what I do or where I am. My passion when I got into this was, and many of you heard the story, I worked in a gym and I saw people come in that were terrified to be there. They show up, they do one workout, they never come back. They were embarrassed, they weren't comfortable in their own skin, they weren't comfortable in front of other people. And then there were the people I talked to like, oh, you work at a gym. I'll never go. Because they're embarrassed. They want the help, but they don't want to be seen by all the fit 20-year-olds working out in their bikinis. At least that's what they picture gyms to be, right? So they wouldn't come in. And so I said, well, there's got to be a better way. I got to be able to help these people. And so I opened Shoreline Natural Wellness, Phase 1, on Lake Street. And after 2 months of being open, the rest of people have no idea what a nutritionist does, no idea what a medical herbalist does, no idea. They're clueless. And that's what I wanted to focus on, not on fitness. I was like, fitness is going to be the side. I laugh now because it's like the main focus. But fitness was going to be on the side, nutrition and herbalism was the top. And nobody knew what the heck that was, so they didn't come to see me because they didn't even know I existed or what I even did. It was very abstract. So I sat down, and hour after hour, I began to plot out my very first weight loss program. What I decided was that all the people who were coming to see me had one thing in common. They all wanted to be healthier. And one thing that also they had in common, for the most part, was they were overweight. And what is one thing that I can modify as a nutritionist, herbalist, personal trainer to help improve all their health conditions? Lose weight. So I sat down and I developed a 12-week weight loss program called the Healthy 3, and I launched it in January of 2010. And this guy was in class 1. Class 1, day 1. And from there, the business exploded. Because now people had a purpose. They had a reason. They understood what we did. And word started spreading. Matter of fact, I took 12 people per class, and I sold out the first class. Had to start a second class in April. And sold that class out, did another one in October, and I brought on a trainer. Some of you may remember Chris. Yes, some of you remember Chris. Chris, she was a police officer. That was her job for her entire career, and she took up personal training as a secondary thing. That would be a little fun for her to do, and that she really enjoyed. I hired her. She was a perfect fit for what I was doing. I just handed her people and said, go. And she did great. Well, we grew so rapidly that in 2011, we couldn't do it there any longer. So each step of my journey, I learned some lessons. The first lesson was dream big. Dream big. We only dream, or we only get to the ceiling of our dream. And the ceiling of my dream was a 300 square foot building that only I worked in, serving a few handful of clients. So I learned real quickly, dream bigger. Push the ceiling higher. What more can you achieve? How many more people can you reach if you have more trainers, more space, more opportunity? So I would ask you guys this question. What is your big dream? What do you see to bring you great joy in life? What is the biggest dream that you can imagine? What is it? What would bring you true happiness? What would fulfill your happiness meter? What would make you feel like you have done what you came on this earth to do? Dream big. Forget the lies that people tell you, because I will tell you they are terrified for themselves and they put that off on you. When I still worked at the health club, people said to me on a regular basis, matter of fact, I stopped telling them my dream. You're stupid. Why would you do that? What if you don't make it? You're not going to make it. At that time, the economy was really bad. The fitness industry was in a dark place. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know up from down. Memberships were down everywhere. And they said, you're not going to make it. What do you? And I started to second guess myself. But the reality is, it wasn't their dream. It was my dream. And their fear was not going to hold me back. So what fear are other people putting on you that hold you back? Let it go. It's not yours to bear. Overcome that fear. Forget the lies that you're telling yourself. I told myself I'm only good enough to have a 300 square foot studio where I serve a few handful of people and make a dent into this world for health. But I had to overcome my fear and realize I can do more, and help more, and be more if I just imagined it and dreamed big. So what in this world do you want? What is your dream? Forget the ceiling, ignore it, clear it out. Forget what lies you're being told, and forget what lies you're telling yourself, because you can reach that dream. In 2011, we moved into here. Imagine that half not being there. For those of you who are newer, we were this space. So to right about here was my office, a bathroom, and a place to take off coats. And for all of you who were here during that period, you know winter was amazing. Everybody taking off their boots and their coats on that little piece of carpet, butt bumping each other, falling over, trying to get through. Then you walk through a space that went to about right here. That was the personal training room. That wasn't very private when classes were going on. And then the classroom was from here to there. That's right, that was a whole stinking classroom. That right there opened up to our break room, storage room, office space, something. I'd stand over boxes to wash my kitchen dishes in the laundry sink, right? So that was 2011, that's when we had that. And with that, we brought on more trainers. We introduced our outdoor boot camp classes, which are fun. We changed the name recently from outdoor boot camp to outdoor adventure because it's not so scary. I mean, it's the same thing, it's still boot camp. Don't tell. I added administrative assistant. Where'd Debbie go? Did she have to go? She went, okay. She had to leave, she has kids, and they have events. So Debbie is not only a trainer here, but she is my administrative assistant, and that took a massive load off of me. She took 15 hours a week out of my life. So instead of 90 hours, I was down to like 75 hours. It was great, it was amazing. And hi guys, welcome, come in. There's chairs, I saved them right up front for you. Now you should be there, so sorry. Not really. We also added the MyZone system up on this screen, which right now has lots of fun photos, is where we monitor our effort in classes. The MyZone has been an amazing tool for us, and we just love it. But that wasn't still enough, because things got hairy. Those of you who have been with me for a long time know that sometimes we make bad choices as business owners, especially those of us who know nothing about running a business. And I hired staff because they were qualified. All my HR people go, rookie mistake. You don't hire people because they're qualified. You hire people because they share your value system. They share your passion. They see your dream and say, oh my gosh, let's do it. That's the people you hired, and that's not who I hired at first. So after a couple very big heartbreaks, loss of trainers who took clients with them, I doubted myself as a business owner. I doubted myself as a trainer. I almost closed shop a couple of times. Very, very dark moments, ugly texts from people, emails, negative words, but God prevailed and gave me the strength to continue. And so, we're still here. Now, when you learn these hard lessons and people say things that aren't true about you, or people say things to you that are just hurtful, things that you hate about yourself and you're working on, and then they just dig it, what can you do? You do one of two things. You can put on a protective skin. And there is a certain amount of protective skin we all need. But you can put on such a thick protective skin that you keep everybody out and you keep yourself completely locked inside. That's what you don't want to do. What you want to do instead is open yourself up. So the lesson that I learned in all of that is when people come at me, when I make a choice that affects other people and it turns out badly, ask yourself this: what can I learn from it? Am I perfect? Oh my gosh, no. I am an imperfect being. We all are. And my husband says, amen! She admitted it on camera!
I got it.
We are all imperfect beings. So if you run into issues, if you run into problems while you're creating this big dream, and those problems come back at you, and you want to go, whoa, that's not me, I didn't do that. Instead, step into it and say, what part of that did I play a part of? How could I have done that differently? And in the future, how can I do it better? When we have these big dreams, we are going to walk straight into some walls, and it's going to hurt. But if we learn and we adapt, so I learned, hire people for passion. You guys who are here now know that all of my staff are passionate. They are amazing. I love you guys. Seriously, amazing. They share the vision. They share the mission. They share the passion. So you really, really want to lean into those dark times and figure out what's wrong and fix it. The other thing is lean into those dark times and realize you didn't create all of it. It's not all your fault. Some of it is their crap, right? They're not perfect either. They got drunk and sent you a stupid text that ruined your night. That was not your fault. That's theirs. That is not your fault. So remember that when you're going through these things, do not put up the protective skin. Instead, lean in. Figure it out. Work through it. When you're thinking about your big dream, when you're thinking about that thing that we were talking about earlier, like the thing that you could achieve if you could achieve anything, and you've already stopped telling yourself lies now, you know that the ceiling goes higher, right? And you're going to stop listening to the lies of everybody else, their fears, so the ceiling just went higher. How are you going to lean into it, and what lessons are you going to take from your life to make that dream a reality? All those moments in your life that were dark and scary and awful and horrible, and you wish that they would go away, and your heart is a little bit broken every time you think about it, lean into it. What could change that situation? If you had done what differently, would it have been better? And if you did everything right, tell yourself that. I actually didn't do anything wrong. This was them. This was their garbage. This was their junk. They put it on me. I am worthy and able to reach my dreams. So after we had been in that space for, we went in there in 2011 and we finished our expansion in 18. So 7 years? Wow, I can't do math. 7 years. 7 years. We had 2 tumultuous times and then 2 golden years, which led to our expansion. And in that expansion, we added on over here, for those of you who haven't seen it before you go, make sure you walk around and check it out. The personal training room is now private. It's no, hey, you look great doing push-ups, I'm going to go to class anymore. It's all by themselves, so that's nice. The group room is much bigger. Can I get an amen for that? Nobody's tripping on each other. For those of you who were here, you remember this. So we were like a box. We had a TRX there, a TRX here, a TRX there, and the balls were here. And people would go like this and lunge back and hit feet of the person behind. You had to look back and you're like, where are you? All right, we're good. So it's kind of nice to have a bigger space, so that's really good. And I was working at that time about 75 hours a week. Give or take 5 or 10 hours. And so I said, all right, something's got to give. And so we did the expansion. And with that, We also brought on Brianne. There's Brianne. Brianne is my godsend. She brought me down to 45 hours a week. I sleep like normal people now. It's great. I go home and I have time to watch TV. It's what have I been missing all these years? My husband and I, we took up sailing, and we sail all the time. I took a vacation this year, and it was not a vacation where I got up and worked until noon, played for a couple hours and worked some more. I just wasn't in the building. It was like a real vacation. We went sailing, and I got up, and I was like, I got some coffee. That was the only thought in my brain. And then I think I'll do some Tai Chi on the deck. And then I'm like, oh, Lily's up. Let's make some breakfast and go for a swim. That was what happened in my brain for 2 weeks. Not, I got to take care of this, I got to take care of that. And it's because Debbie was holding the candle here. Brianne was handling all of the emails and inquiries and sales calls. Heidi and Narita were managing classes. And Diane was keeping the place clean. I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to come back. I almost didn't come back. But here I am. So when we did the expansion, it allowed me to get more time. So guess what that did to my dream? Bigger. I have more time. So what did we bring in? Healthy Free Online. It just keeps getting bigger. So now we have classes you can take online. You can meet with your coach, whether you live here or in Texas, through Skype, or not Skype, through Zoom. And it's this wonderful program that was not possible before. So we have to dream big. Each and every step has taught me lessons. And this one, last one, taught me this. Life should be lived. The biggest lesson I had to learn. Life should be lived. I love what I do. You guys know that. I'm very passionate about it. I'm a little crazy sometimes because I'm so passionate. But this isn't my all in all. This is a piece of who I am. My husband and children are a piece of who I am. Sailing is a piece of who I am. Hiking is a piece of who I am. Hanging out with my friends is a piece of who I am. Spending time in prayer and meditation is a piece of who I am. And now I have the time to do that. So the lesson that I learned in the new space is that we have to live our life. If we just every day nose to the grind, work, push, we get through life and what comes out the other side? A gravestone. That's it. That's what comes out the other side. There's nothing. You left nothing. You felt nothing. And now you feel, I can't tell you how many older folks I meet and they say, oh, I just love that you guys are living your life. I wish I did. Don't let that happen to you. Live your life. Go out there. Chase your dreams. Don't be afraid. Step out in faith. Take that plunge. Whether you're 20 or 90, take the plunge. Step. There's no too late of a time to follow your dreams. What's holding you back? Awkward silence. Seriously. Think about it. What's holding you back? Don't let it. Release the leash that's holding you down and take off. Fly. Follow your dream.